Hi everyone, I'm Brad Hayen, Pastor of Christian Education and Missions here at the church.
And I'm Jeremy Hartley, the Assistant Pastor here at the church.
And we're excited to tell you about an upcoming trip this summer to the Czech Republic. It's a short-term trip, and one of the things that we like to do in missions is to coordinate what we're doing with long-term missions along with our short-term missions. And so we have some long-term missionaries who've been sent out for this church, people like Zach and Kara Zegan and their 3 girls. And we also do some short-term trips that are a couple of weeks instead of numerous years to those places to help with the ministries that they're doing there. And so Zach and Kara particularly focus on the youth of Czech Republic and working alongside of their church in all the things that they're doing in ministry there. And so what we've done is form a relationship with that church, and each year we've tried to send a team to them. Of course, that was interrupted by COVID for a couple of years, but last year we were able to go back, and we do a 2-week trip that is both an English camp and a music camp. And we take people from our church to work alongside of their church in these places of ministry. It's a wonderful thing to do. And Czech Republic is a place that really is in need of ministry. Very high percentage of atheists there, especially among the youth. But there's also an eagerness among the youth to interact with Americans, to learn English, and also to hear about God. And one of the things that these trips does, especially when we go back year after year after year, is it helps us to develop relationships with the people that we're going there to meet. And oftentimes it takes 2 or 3 or 4 exposures to the gospel for these young people to come to understand their need for God, who God is, and then come to a relationship with Him too. And so as we can build those relationships over years, oftentimes this comes to a fruitful place for the gospel for us. And so this year we're going back. Tell us a little bit about last year's trip and what you expect for this year too.
Yeah, I don't want to give too much detail away because I'll save it for our info meeting that we'll announce. But I do want to say that my favorite part about this trip was seeing the Czech church and the American team form this instant bond. And I think that was obviously because of the Holy Spirit and the work that He's doing amongst us. But it was incredible to see these 2 different cultures come together with one mission, and that is to serve these high school students. And that's really what we did. We went to, even though it was 2 weeks, the first week was to learn about cross-cultural missions, get some training. But in that second week is putting this camp together for these high school students. And we, like you mentioned earlier, we broke the camp up into an English camp and a music camp. And it was so fun to work in those 2 different environments. And what was also really neat is seeing these Czech Christians that were in the youth group, these Czech high school Christians. They were so intentional in their conversation and relationship building with the non-Christians, because this really is an outreach type of camp. A lot of unchurched students are invited, and we loved seeing that happen. You mentioned we're going back July 10th through the 25th. We have an information meeting coming up on Sunday, January 29th, right after the second service in room C. A light lunch will be provided, and there we'll talk a little bit more detail about what to expect, what this camp is all about. We'll also talk about putting this team together. We'll have applications available. In fact, even if right now you're really interested in going, there's applications available at the welcome desk, or you can email Pastor Brad or myself, but spots are limited, is that right?
That's right. We can only take just 15 or so people. So we'll look at our composition for the team this year, but we'd love to take everyone, but the reality is only a couple of handfuls of people can go.
Yep. So, pun intended, check out the info meeting coming up soon.